place earlier today. Even in death, we are still remembering the tremendous work that Charlie Maynard did. And as bad as they are, this government is forced every day to recognize the great work that Charlie did in youth and sports in this country.
Yes.
Tonight, as we come here, we are going to highlight some of the young, up-and-coming, and in some cases already arrived young talent that rests in the FNM. But as I watched Parliament over the last couple of days, I thought to myself, you know, it is fitting that, you know, the Bible says God won't put more on you than you could bear.
Yes.
And you remember that Charlie was the lie detector.
Yes.
My goodness, he would have been working overtime in Parliament if he was around.
Yes.
Because there's no question that the lies and distortion that they continue to make in Parliament and outside of Parliament would have had any lie detector working overtime. But we pray that Charlie's soul continues to rest in peace.
Amen.
We're happy that the Prime Minister is back on Bahamian soil. Welcome home, Prime Minister. The Prime Minister decided that the heat in the VAT kitchen was getting too hot for him and he had to get out of town. I feel so bad for John Rowe. Just came into the job of Financial Secretary, figuring that this government that had the urge to go ahead with VAT, when most people ask, what's that? The PM decided he would leave town and leave John in charge. Michael Alkitis is the Member of Parliament for Golden Isles. He is nowhere to be found. And people continue to ask, who is in charge? Well, the Prime Minister decided that things were so bad, when he left Chogum, he would stop by the Vatican City and have a meeting with the Pope. Our sources deep inside the Vatican told us that when the Prime Minister went to see the Pope, he said, Pope, the opposition is so strong. I can't have a day without criticism from those who oppose me. Everywhere I turn left, they criticize me. Everywhere I go right, the opposition criticizing me. Pope, they're trying to run me out of office earlier than I'm ready to, but I refuse to let them run me out of office. What should I do about the opposition? And the Pope said to him, my Lord, Prime Minister, that Hubert Minnis is something else. I didn't know he was going to be so aggressive. Hubert Minnis? I talking about Shane and Davis and Obi. That's my real opposition. It's like they don't want me to be Prime Minister. I understand what it's like for the Prime Minister. He is dazed and confused. Doesn't know which way to turn. I haven't seen the newspapers yet for the day, but I understand that when he landed, he had VAT on the brain and was once again saying, I don't know which way to turn. I need someone to tell me what to do. Well, the good news for Golden Isles and the rest of the Bahamas is that the FNM has a pretty clear understanding of exactly what to do. And so we are going to get started and tell the Prime Minister exactly what time it is and what he needs to do. So I want to begin by inviting to this stage one of our younger FNMs. He's got FNM politics and FNM power running through his brain, through his veins. He is one of the up-and-coming stars of our party, having been recently elected as a trustee for the FNM. I want you to put your hands together and welcome Trustee Shannon Dawn Cartwright to the stage.
FNMs, are you ready?
Yeah!
FNMs, are you ready?
Yeah!
First, I'd just like to thank God, who's the great architect of the universe, for giving me the breath and the opportunity to be here this evening. Let me say how wonderful it is to be in the great constituency of Golden Isles. The constituency once represented by our national chairman, former national chairman, Mr. Charlie Maynard. And I know we all wish tonight that Charlie could be here to see the work you do on behalf of Golden Isles, the work you do on behalf of the Free National Movement, and the work you do indeed for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We come here tonight focused on what our task is, the task at hand. We come here tonight for a common purpose and a common hope. We come here for the hope of a better Bahamas and the purpose of determining how we get there. But we know, and we've always known, in order for us to create a better Bahamas, it will involve a greater sense of sacrifice, a greater sense of commitment to the fight. So we come here tonight as well to join our voices with the voices of thousands of Bahamians in the constituency of Golden Isles, with the thousands of Bahamians on the island of New Providence, and indeed the many thousands of Bahamians throughout the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, whose whispers have swelled now into a chorus, and they have said that they have had enough. They have had enough of this leaderless PLP government. They've said that the PLP government has had enough time to start to fix the crime problem, enough time to fix our economy, enough time to fix our education. But we know that now is our time, and the FNM is always willing and ready to lead. On May 7th, 2012, the PLP government wrote a check to the Bahamian people. And the check said, pay to the order of the Bahamian people 10,000 jobs, mortgage relief, decrease in crime, increase in educational spending, lower electricity bills. But we are here to say tonight that that check has bounced sky high. They have fooled the Bahamian people. But you know, as the saying goes, fool me once, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. So the Bahamian people will not be fooled again. You know, I saw a couple of weeks back, the Prime Minister on a return from a trip, he actually had the nerve to tell the reporter that he is tired of answering some questions. But we have some news for the Prime Minister and the PLP government tonight. The Bahamian people are tired, Mr. Prime Minister. The taxi drivers are tired. The teachers are tired. The prison officers are tired. The Bahamian populace is tired of this do-nothing government. Now, just like me, I'm sure that you've seen a lot of magic shows in your life, right? I tell you, this is the greatest disappearing act I've seen by a government. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And the only time they do appear is when they're opening something that we started for the people. The only time that they appear is when they're promoting a program that we initiated for the people. But we say to the PLP government, your time is up. Your time has been up. Time has been up a long, long time ago. FNMs, the fight still continues. Every day the fight continues. In 1971, when our great party came about, democracy needed to be defended. Our freedoms and our individual rights needed to be expanded. And a hope of a better Bahamas for all needed to be realized. And so today, that is still the fight. We are still fighting for the rights of Bahamians. We're still fighting to expand individual liberties. We're still fighting to create a better Bahamas for all Bahamians. And so as we leave here tonight, let each of us, indeed all of us, carry the word to every constituency, to every town, every corner, every island, that the Free National Movement has always been about the people. Transparency for the people. Accountability for the people. Better education system for the people. You know, it's amazing to me. Often, you know, you turn on the TV and you watch the parliamentary channel and you see these PLP cabinet ministers, they get up. And I'm trying to figure out in my mind, just like you, I'm sure, what have they been doing the last year and a half? Besides taking flights. You know, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I wonder what country is the Foreign Affairs for? He's really here in the Bahamas. So FNMs, as we leave here tonight, again, let us keep up the fight. Keep up the fight for the free national movement. Keep up the fight, because it is still about deliverance. It is still better now and better to come under the FNM. It is still a matter of trust. And no matter what, the FNM continuously and always will deliver for the Bahamian people. Good night.
Good night.
And of course he doesn't quite know what to do with it. So it's a compromised prime minister and a compromised government and a prime minister who's lost control of his cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
No wonder things are running amok. But I'm going to stop there and I'm going to invite to the stage the young and dynamic John Bostwick Jr., Senator.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you. Golden Isles, FNM.
Yeah.
It's my extreme honor to have the pleasure to be here with you tonight. I have a short amount of time, so I'm going to try to be quick and sweet and hit as many points as I can. As the Chairman said, I got FNM in my blood. I like to tell people I'm born free. I'm born free national movement. One of those people who are actually claimed to be born Bahamian. We watched this first year and a half of the PLP in governance, and sadly none of us are surprised at what we see. The PLP came to power on a statement that they believe in Bahamians. What I say is the PLP believe in taxing Bahamians.
Yes.
I said in the Senate in one of my first presentations during the midterm budget that I could see the writing in the sand that the PLP was getting ready to tax the blood out of the Bahamian, to draw blood out of the stone. And the leader of the Senate on the PLP side got very upset with me. She didn't like what I was suggesting. But now we can see the truth of that. Now we can really see. Yeah, exact same person, Chairman. Now we can see. At that time, I was concerned about the introduction of the environmental levies. You know, we have to look at how many taxes have already been introduced and what they are planning to introduce coming up. People don't realize that the environmental levy is a straight tax that has caused the increase of goods at an incredible rate. I listened on the radio the other day and a lady called in to say that she had gone to Miami and bought an iron, a simple iron, which she thought was a cheap one, $18 in the States. When she got home at the airport, declared her iron, thought she was going to pay 35%, another odd $6. But she found out that irons now have an environmental levy on them. So she had to pay $15 environmental levy on her $18 iron plus the 35%. So at the end of the day, her $18 iron cost her $36. Twice as much, 100%. That's a tax. That's a tax would hit the small man trying to save $1. That's a serious tax. They put a tax on every tire coming into this country, every fridge coming into this country. To the point now, talking to some business people on Gladstone Road, not far from here, who sell household supplies and such. They tell me that now a price of a wheelbarrow tire coming in from China because of the environmental tax on the tire, the price of the wheelbarrow now in their shop is the same as the price of the tire. That make any sense? Small people suffering, suffering, suffering. I've had a person come to me to ask me if I could sue the government because he's in the used tire business. He had a tire container load come in, 10,000 tires. Each one of those tires got $20 on it now.
What?
He could not clear those tires. Business closed. So now that they've already done that, that has already increased the cost of living, that's already taken dollars out of the pockets that we really don't have right now. Now they're talking about VAT and talking about it coming no matter what. People don't understand VAT. A lot of us don't understand VAT. But VAT is value-added tax. Value-added to what? To goods and services produced in your country. Well, how much of what we consume do we produce? Nothing, really. We import over 90%. So where does value added to goods and services really fit in our understanding? Prices have already started to go up in anticipation of this tax. I see the Guardian syndicate here. They've already increased the price of their newspaper by 33%. By a full quarter, from 75 cents to $1 in anticipation of their increase in costs. 33%, not 15%, 33%. What that speaks of is a word called inflation. It means that the price of goods is going to go up. It's going to go up and go up quick. Value-added tax is what we call in the financial services a regressive tax, because it means that the poor, hard-working people of the Bahamas pay just as much as the rich, which is simply not fair. It's in no way fair. Small businesses will see their costs go up. And when your costs go up in small businesses, you got to look to make a savings. Where are you going to look first? Most likely at your employees. Our good leader, Dr. Hubert Minnis, had the wisdom and the foresight to allow me to serve in the Senate for the FNM. And he has also appointed me as the Shadow Minister of Tourism. Tourism and the government are the two largest employers in the Bahamas, next to small businesses. This VAT is going to hurt small businesses. They're going to look to save costs, and they're going to look to cut jobs. This VAT in the tourism industry, we have a 15% gratuity. You can add VAT onto that, which means that the cost of goods to the tourists can be 30%. You think they're going to spend an extra 30% on every dollar they spend in the Bahamas in services? Or are they going to say, hell no, we ain't paying no gratuity, you can cut that out? So all of us who are in the service industry are going to be fighting over our 15%, because the government can get theirs up front. You have to look at where it's going to hit in the pockets of the small people. And as I say, the small business and tourism, they are what drives our economy. If we lose jobs in that area, our service industry, we are a service industry destination. If you cut jobs in your restaurant, it means that your service is going to go down.
Hey, I'm at a rally, so you
the problems will compound themselves. The PLP came with lots of promises. They promised 10,000 jobs. What they didn't say is they promised to cause 10,000 jobs. We thought they were promising to create 10,000 jobs.
Say what?
Already Rupert Roberts is talking about this expansion of super value will not happen.
Okay.
He's not building his $1 million warehouse. It's not going to happen. The signs are clear. They're clear. You know, but it's not good enough to stand and say that VAT is the wrong thing. Because the truth is that we got to raise some money in the Bahamas. This government always likes to talk about what the FNM spent in 5 years, and they've matched it in 18 months. Could you imagine what they intend to do over the next 3 years? It can't happen. The Prime Minister is boldly speaking and saying he needs help. he don't know what to do. If anybody have a suggestion to do something different, please bring it to us. Well, the FNM is full of young, bright minds, full of young energy, full of people looking for a different way. And there are different things that we could do. There are different ways we could go. Some of us feel that we don't need to look at VAT. Some of us feel that we could look at national insurance, for example. National insurance is a tax. National insurance is an income tax. Right now at 10% of your income. Rather than mess with VAT and things that we don't understand, that they're estimating will cost almost $70 million to roll out, to create. Rather than mess with that, why don't we look at adjusting national insurance and calling it national income tax? We could let foreigners pay more than we pay. The rich could pay more than the poor. We could scale it. We could take the national insurance, turn it to national income tax, and pay into a national pension fund and a national health plan. National insurance already exists. That already comes out of your paycheck. You're already used to that. You could feel it. You know how that works. It's not an alien thought like this VAT. It sounds like something from outer space. We have all kinds of taxes in the Bahamas. We have business licenses. They are taxes. You need to call them what they are. And if we can't police 9,000 businesses, that's how many businesses we have in this country. If we can't track the income of 9,000 businesses and ensure that they pay the national income tax of their employees, then we really have a problem. There are lots of options, and your FNM is ready to bring them options forward. God knows we wish we didn't have to wait till 2017. We are praying people, maybe we could pray them out of office. You know, maybe we see some of those dissidents in the PLP, maybe they can find some more courage to really stand up against what is wrong and stand for what is right. And really what is right is what is in the FNM. The future for this country is in the FNM. Future visionary leadership. Leadership in the form of Dr. Hubert Minnis, who has the willingness to look at the young, the willingness to listen to the young, the willingness to take the creative energy of the young and to harness that, and to harness it with the wisdom of those who've been there before. So we're here today to let you know that your FNM stands ready with real solutions to the problems that we are facing as a nation. It is dark times, but the FNM has always been the light. And the FNM will remain that light towards the future, lighting the way to the future of the Bahamas, and making sure that that future is not just better, but better and brighter. So, without getting too much into more, and as I know I got a short time, I'll just leave you with that message of hope, so that even in these dark days, there is a way forward, and that way forward is the FNM. I thank you. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Is a young, dynamic woman in the person of Senator Heather Hunt. Senator the Honorable. So we are going to be, as she makes her way to the stage, asking the people of Marathon to demote her. Move her from the upper house and send her to work on their behalf in the lower house. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the next member of Parliament for Marathon, Senator Heather Hunt.
Any FNMs out there? Well, let me hear you, FNMs. I'm so glad to be here in the great constituency of Golden Isles, and I bring you greetings from Marathon. And the chairman really said it best. And you know, I'm a lawyer, and I really shouldn't be plagiarizing other people's things, right? But the president of the BUT gave my opponent, and now he's a member, but he won't be for very long, because the president gave him a a new nickname, and I'm going to share it with you. His new nickname is First Time, Last Time. And I came here to tell you all tonight that this chick, Heather Hunt, will make sure that this is his first time, but it's going to be his last time. Now, I don't have a full voice. I don't know if you could hear it, but I'm really not supposed to be in the draft. So I'm going to be here just for a few minutes to bring a few points to you. But I want to talk to you about this government and their talking ways. Now, all y'all know we are the party who are the delivery team because we deliver. We have a track record. We could stand on that. Nobody could touch that. This crew we have here is a talking crew. And one of the biggest things they said on day one is that they were going to bring 10,000 jobs in the first year. Everybody heard that? Yeah. And guess what? A lot of people got swing on that. They thought they was going to be one of the 10,000, isn't that right? Yeah. But now we over a year later, and I don't even know, well, I don't know what number they say, but it's nowhere near 10,000 jobs in the first year. In fact, FNMs, and it's a big concern for young people like me and those who I represent, unemployment in this country now for young people is at a level of 30%. That is unacceptable. And we in the FNM, I want to assure you that we're working for you and strategizing to see when we come back to government, we'll ensure that we address the unemployment rate with young people. And ladies and gentlemen, every year, 3,000 or more students are coming out of school. And this government has shown no plan as to what they're going to do to employ these young persons. Well, y'all remember what we did? Yes. Y'all remember? Yes. Y'all don't sound like you remember. Y'all remember? Well, we did and implemented to make sure that these young persons had work in tough economic times, our 52-week program. And during that 52-week program, ladies and gentlemen, young people were employed in this country. Of course, the talking team and the talking crew criticized, came back to office, didn't continue the program, and look where we are now 18 months later with an unemployment rate of 30%. Unacceptable. But you know what else they did? They caused this 30% unemployment rate among young people, you know. You know the urban renewal workers, you remember them? Yeah. All the contractual workers that this our good FNM government put in place in the urban renewal program. What did they do with them? They sent them home. We don't need you no more. And then, when the statistics come out, they're going to try to talk and explain it away and say, well, you know, it's because the disencouraged workers are now looking for work. Y'all don't get swing with that. Our employment rate is up because this government has failed to implement any plan for young people and failed to expand the economy and failed to give us jobs. And that's what they promised us on day one. DJ, you with me? Yes. Okay. Because I like some music now. Anyway, you know what else this government did to affect young people? And forgive me if I always talking about young people, but I still got a couple more years in this category. Yeah. So I like to take advantage. This government promised us that they were going to double the investment in education. Now, first of all, that was a joke from Jump Street, and I think anybody who believed that one got, what my friends say, had hoodwink and bamboozle and run amok. But in any event, what they did do, one example of what they did do in education, went to COB, told COB that they had to cut their subsidies, which resulted in the students of COB now having to pay increased tuition fees. Now, how you could double the investment in education and at the same time increase the school fees at COB? But that's the talking team, and that's what they do. illustrious leader will come and bring his message, and the other senior members of the party will bring their message. So I don't need to touch on everything. But you know, this government has done so many bad things in 18 months. Me, one could stand up here the whole night and talk about it, hey? But I'm not. All I'm gonna say is, the proof is in the pudding. And this a bad tasting pudding we eating right about now. The gambling referendum mess up. The constitutional amendments for equality of women put off. Mess up. Overworking the police, that mess up. They're bringing back all the retired senior civil servants. Young people can't get work. Mess up. What else they mess up on? The mortgage home relief plan. That mess up. Not one person was, well, maybe 4 they say. Not one person benefited from the mortgage home relief plan. So many people in this country behind on their mortgage. That was one of their chief promises. That mess up. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage you, before the rest of the speakers come on, it's time for us now to get together. Because this government is clearly messing up. We need to get together, make sure that we're ready, in place, because I don't even know if it's going to be as long as 2017 at the rate they're going. I want all FNMs to come on board, support your community association, get involved in your constituency association. This is the time now for us to get our constituency association strong, so that the minute an election is called, everybody will be ready. But even before that, all of our constituency associations will be ready to get rid of this mess up, talking, nonsense government. FNMs? You agree with that? All right, good night. God
bless. Because these aren't people who had multi-million-dollar
FNM. Thank you very much. It is so very good to be here in the Deep South, in the Golden Isles constituency, here with all my FNM brothers and sisters. We are a great party, created and enduring to serve the great people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And come 2017, or thereabouts, we shall once again serve the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as their next free national movement government. I say this with a great deal of confidence, because without a shadow of a doubt, the leadership of the Progressive Liberal Party must have lost their collective minds. They have to be crazy, or they just don't care. They have no love or care for the Bahamian people.
No, they don't.
They just want to tax you and then spend the Bahamian people's money on travel and fat cat contracts for friends and lovers. Disgrace. This PLP will from henceforth be described as your tax and spend government.
Yes.
But it is good still to be here, because we love the Bahamas. It's good to be here on a Saturday evening with so many good friends. You know, it's only hours away from Sunday, and soon thousands of Bahamians will be praising their God and performing their duties to their church and to our shared faith. I think all of us should find ourselves in a church come this next Sunday, and we should be praying for our beloved country. We should pray the prayer of patriots who love their country. We should do so in particular to mark the occasion for our Prime Minister going to confession in the Vatican City in front of His Holiness the Pope. Yes, say what you want about Mr. Christie. After traveling all of those miles on your hard-earned tax dollars, he had a conscience before returning home. He looked around and there was with him the most traveled minister in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Mr. Fred Mitchell, and the most do-nothing, talk-plenty minister on the planet, Mr. Pinder. So our beloved Prime Minister must have said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my confession to the Pope because I really don't know what to tell my people when I go back home. I've been their do-nothing Prime Minister for nearly 2 years now, and I know they're tired of hearing me blame this on the FNM, blame that on Hubert Minnis, blame this on Loretta Butler-Turner, blame the next thing on international consultants, and it goes on and on, blaming everyone except himself. So guess what he did? Yes, he got it. He went to the Pope and gave his confession. And I can hear him now. You know, he has this fantastic baritone oratorical voice. Motormouth Christie put on his most pious face and he went to confession. What sin against the Bahamian people was foremost on Mr. Christie's mind when he knelt in confession? Well, let's just start. Forgive me, Father, I have sinned, said Mr. Christie. I told the Bahamian people that I believe in the Bahamas, but my government has spent millions of dollars in the last 2 years on foreign consultants. Yes, Father, we gave away millions on a botched gambling referendum. We gave away millions on an audit of the National Insurance Board. Yes. We gave away millions on studies we are still hiding from the Bahamian people on VAT. And we're about to give away even more millions on urban renewal consultants. Forgive me, Father, because my record shows that I do not believe in the Bahamas or Bahamians. Secondly, our beloved Prime Minister must have also asked for forgiveness for the unprecedented murder and crime rate, which he said he and his party were ready to fix from day one. I can hear him now in that special oratorical voice. Holy Father, I need a special forgiveness for the sin I committed when I told the Bahamian people that my party would make them safe and secure and the rate of crime would be reduced. Holy Father, my government boasts the most disgusting crime record in the history of the country. And murders are happening on the streets as if we lived in the days of the Wild Wild West. And I have 2 ministers doing the job of one. And they don't have an idea what they're doing. For my sin of misleading the Bahamian people that my government was ready to fight crime on day one, Holy Father, I beg forgiveness. Then our beloved Prime Minister would have closed his eyes, and on this one, because he couldn't look at himself. I can hear it now. He would have said, Holy Father, the people of the Bahamas voted no on the referendum on gambling. I told the country that whatever the answer to the vote was, I would abide by it. But Holy Father, I don't have the, never mind, you know what I mean, Holy Father, to shut down the numbers racket. So every day this law continues to be broken in the Bahamas. By this time, even the Holy Father would have had used up a case of Kleenex tissues crying for the woes of the Bahamian people. I know you would have liked to console Mr. Christie and tell him go and sin no more. But just like you and I, the Holy Father must have realized by then that truth and transparency are strangers to the jaundiced world of Mr. Christie. Friends, these are serious and compelling times. And as the years draws to a close, as this year draws to a close, our beloved Prime Minister is as hapless and as clueless as ever. No information on VAT. No information on his planned constitutional referendum. No information on the reform of gaming laws. No doubling of the education budget. No end to this horrendous crime spree. The Prime Minister fiddles while this country labors in an abyss of terror and economic stagnation. The Prime Minister, I am told, said to his huge delegation when they left the Vatican City, "I know what to do when I get home." "What is it, Chief?" they all replied. "You fellas are slow," said the Prime Minister. "It's Christmas time, and the folks are in the shacks. All I have to do is turn up to Junior Junkanoo, Boxing Day Junkanoo, and New Year's Day Junkanoo, and perform my world-famous Christie Shuffle, and everything will be straight." What a way to run a country. They misrepresented themselves to the people of the Bahamas in the last general election, and now our beloved Bahamaland is on a dangerous course. Only your FNM can change that course. Only your free national movement can restore the standing of the Bahamas in the world. Only your FNM is fit to govern. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with those few words, what I want to encourage you to do is to become active in your communities. Don't be silent. Be strong and be courageous. And together, we will defeat the PLP peril. Thank you very much.
FNMs! FNMs! Listen, when we had our first little rally in the alley to gear up for 2007, we go to a big parking lot at Angleston, and the parking lot was empty, empty, empty. You all have 10,000 more percent people here tonight than we had in 2005, and we won in 2007. My brothers and sisters, I could tell you tonight that the Bahamian people are mad, mad, mad. I'll tell you why. Because their government is not working. Yes, the PLP is not working for Bahamians. Now, why I say that? They came in, they said they were going to give 10,000 jobs. 2 years later, unemployment rate went up from 14 to 16%. Overall, more than 4,000 more unemployed Bahamians added to the rolls because of their misgovernment. The PLP is not working for Bahamians. When the PLP came in, they promised that they would bring all kind of investment to restore the Bahamas. What has happened? Nothing has happened. The PLP promised they get rid of crime. You remember those big lamp posters? 450, 490 for 5 years. Well, after 2 years, they done what, near 200. And they're gonna exceed that record, because when you go and you do stupidness like that, and you make crime political, crime will politically bite you back, and it's biting the PLP back, because the PLP is not working for Bahamians. They got the police working hard 12 hours and don't want to compensate them. But the PLP is not working for Bahamians, and that is why crime is through the roof. But they are working on one thing. They're working on how they can tax you some more. Now they come up with this very asinine, never mind, very aggressive tax. They're gonna put on all of us, like Rehoboam, you know. He say, my father Solomon whipped you with whips, and I'm gonna whip you with scorpions. They're gonna put scorpions on the Bahamian people. We're here. We're here in this constituency represented by Charles Maynard, our former chairman who passed, as we all know, so sad and so suddenly. And the person who is now representing this seat is the fella who is the main architect for this very aggressive tax proposal. Now, us in the FNM, our view is this: all other options should be properly considered first before this very aggressive thing is imposed on the backs of the Bahamian people. But I said to you tonight, you know, that the PLP is not working for Bahamians. And I'm telling you, a part of the process of building the economy is to have foreign investment. The PLP promised that. I read in the paper today a young attorney saying, not today, this week, that he has to go and survey and put a survey out on a petition to beg the PLP government to give approvals within 30 days for foreign investors, because foreign investors are sitting around waiting for months and months and months for approvals to invest in the Bahamas from this PLP. Now, the MP for this area, Minister Alcides, instead of counting money you ain't got that you think you gonna get with a VAT, how about doing the job you could do right now and stop disappointing investors who want to bring hard-earned US dollars, jobs, technology, and knowledge to Bahamians right now? Don't say you broke. Don't say you catching trouble as a government. And you have investors who want to bring money, investment, and jobs, and they cannot get an answer, can't get a yes or a no from this government. And I tell you that, I ain't saying it. Mr. Adrian White, the lawyer in the newspaper, was saying it this week, and he's got a petition. So tell Perry Christie, you know, you've been and you got absolution and forgiveness of sins with His Holiness the Pope. Very good. Come now and sin no more. Do your job. There are 16.5% unemployment in the Bahamas, and you have investors who want to come and create jobs. Consider their applications, and if they're fit and they're proper, give them their approvals so Bahamians can find work. If you can't give them the 10,000 jobs, let those who want to give them jobs, give them jobs. My brothers and sisters, it's a long road to go, but it ain't long now. Because we have a nasty, wicked, vindictive, and victimizing government that cannot deliver for the Bahamian people, isn't living up to its promises to the Bahamian people, and is sure to continue to fall down. So FNMs, you stand up, you go to your areas, you hit the streets, because it ain't long now. FNM, FNMs, FNMs.